Farmers have the coolest gig, living it up out in the wild, totally vibing with Mother Nature. They're right in the thick of spots filled with wild secrets. We're talking about old school treasures that'll make your jaw drop, oddball animals, things that seem ripped from a sci-fi flick, and just a bunch of bizarre events. Our farms are jam-packed with this spooky kind of magic. Gathered from every which way, let me spill the beans on 30 strange things that farmers found in their fields. Massive gator. Encountering one of the biggest crocodiles, already intimidated by its formidable presence, people also had to navigate its unpredictable behavior as it tried to break free from captivity. Meet Lo Long, the most massive saltwater crocodile ever caught in the Philippines, notorious for having claimed the lives of many villagers in its area. Responding to the villagers' pleas, wildlife officials embarked on a demanding and perilous endeavor to capture the dangerous crocodile, finally managing to secure it. Agitated by the ordeal, Lo Long made several attempts to escape the ropes binding him, but was ultimately relocated away from the community. Human-like species. Sitting untouched for ages and dug up in 2016, the discovery of human-like bones blew the archaeologists' minds. They didn't just find one person's remains, but 16 different people, all in the same spot. Researchers started calling it the Dark Chamber of the Dead. This all went down in South Africa, where a caver caught a glimpse of a bone sticking out of the limestone. Because the cave's entrance was so tight, they had to send in a special team to get the rest of the bones out. Once the experts took a closer look, they announced these were bones from a newly identified human-like species named Homo naledi, which means star, after the cave they were found in. Harvesting alligator. Among the numerous encounters between alligators and farmers, with gators sometimes appearing out of the blue or even scaling fences to get into fields, this incident tops them all in terms of sheer terror. Here's what went down. A farmer was in the middle of harvesting, totally engrossed in his work, when his machine suddenly struck something hard. That's when a huge alligator emerged from the water, clamping the wheel in its jaws. This forced the man to back up. Given its clearly agitated state, nothing positive could be anticipated from this formidable creature. Alright, let's move on from all the cases and dive into the discussion about the video thumbnail. This photo, along with the brief video clip, was captured in 2021 in Texas. We're genuinely puzzled by it. It truly appears authentic. When we sought out information regarding this incident, we honestly anticipated discovering that it was someone in disguise, a hoax, or any other rational explanation. Surprisingly, we found nothing to debunk it. In fact, quite the opposite. Numerous people on Reddit claim to have seen similar creatures from a distance. Werewolves, as they called them. What are your thoughts? Could it be real? Do such creatures exist out there? We're eager to hear from you. Skeletons mystery. 6 skeletons discovered face down with their hands bound were perplexing archaeologists in Spain. Extracted from a significant depth, the researchers deduced that this was not a typical burial site, notably due to the absence of any female remains. Moreover, it deviated from customary burial rituals, as evidenced by peculiar marks on their limbs, suggestive of stones being hurled at them. All 6 individuals were male and seemed to be members of the same faction. The questions of their identities and the reasons behind their harsh burial method remain unanswered to this day. Prehistoric skeleton. One night, shining his flashlight across the dark ground, a farmer was anxiously looking for his missing cattle. Out of nowhere, he stumbled upon a body on the ground and quickly aimed his light at it, hoping to find his livestock, but instead discovered an entirely unfamiliar creature. On closer inspection, a lot of its characteristics seemed to echo those of ancient creatures. It had a fearsome set of jaws, lengthy back legs, and claws instead of hooves, with the mysterious skeleton measuring about a meter in length. The skeleton of the enigmatic creature was passed on to a research team who intended to analyze some of the preserved tissues for DNA testing. Following this, the plan was to transfer it to a museum for its final display. Unidentified animal. While clearing debris from his property, a Brazilian farmer stumbled upon a bizarre creature, unlike any known species. He found a peculiar brown, hairless body lying dead on a rock. The creature had its eyes merged into one, and a weird, trunk-like appendage was jutting out from its forehead. To add to its eerie appearance, its ears were flat against its head. Despite a close examination, the creature remained a mystery. Initially, it was suspected to be a deformed calf, but the odd trunk and unusual hooves suggested it was an entirely different entity. Snake bones. While tidying up his poultry farm in Florida, a farmer found some skeletal remains tangled in the bird netting. Initially baffled, a closer look revealed that the lengthy ribcage belonged to snakes. The farmer speculated that these bones were from a couple of rat snakes that had wandered onto his farm a few months earlier and then vanished without a trace. The exact circumstances of their demise remain a mystery, but the well-preserved and nearly whole skeleton suggests they died of natural causes. Thousands-year-old skull. So, they dug up this skull under a village in Georgia, and man, did it blow the scientists' minds. They think it's from way back, like ancient times, and it could tell us heaps about how we evolved. Found in 2013, tucked away in some rocks, this thing's around 1.8 million years old, and is pretty much one of the best preserved pre-human skulls they've come across. Could really mix up what we think we know about our ancient family tree. Plus, its big head size, that's throwing hints that our old relatives came in all sorts of shapes and sizes. Keen to dig deeper, the research team's still on it, poking around that ancient noggin to see what more they can find out. Ancient human skeleton. So this dude was just trying to dig a pond in his backyard to bump up his trout game, right? And bam, he hits something totally wild. A few feet down, he finds what turns out to be the remains of a Native American. At first, the 14-year-old kid had no clue what he'd found, so he rings up the local archaeology crew in Utah. They come over quick, take one look at the bones, and boom. They tell him it's not just any old bones. This teenager had accidentally dug up a 1,000-year-old person. Now, the team's all pumped to dig deeper, hoping they'll find more bones and maybe even some ancient treasures. Woolly mammoth baby. Dreaming of striking gold, this miner ended up finding a baby mammoth's body instead. And when the experts got a look, they were like, "This is one of the best preserved mammoths we've seen around here." The whole thing went down in Canada. A gold miner was on his way to the mine, tripped over a big rock, and boom, there's this perfectly preserved ancient creature. He first thought it might be some kind of buffalo, but then he spotted the little tusk and was like, "Nope, that's a mammoth, and it's been extinct forever." After he passed it to the researchers, they were all excited, telling everyone this wasn't just any mammoth, it was an Ice Age mammoth, and this old-timer was about 30,000 years old. Dinosaur eggs. So, while poking around in Madhya Pradesh, these archaeologists hit the jackpot and found 92 dinosaur nests. Pretty wild, right? These nests were all huddled up together, but unlike some other dino eggs that were found with their dinosaur parents' fossils, these sauropod eggs were flying solo. Basically, it looks like sauropods would lay their eggs and then peace out, not hanging around until the little dinos hatched. And get this, while they were checking out these 92 nests, one of the team stumbled upon something totally nuts, an eggshell inside another egg. Yep, you heard that right. It's the first time they found something like this with dinosaurs. It's something you might see in birds when they're stressed out during laying eggs. Goes to show, dinosaurs had their share of drama too. Cobras protecting sleeping baby. Okay, this might totally blow your mind, but yeah, it really happened. The video kicks off with 4 cobras chilling around a baby, almost like they're on guard duty while the little one snoozes away. But hold up, it gets crazier. The baby wakes up and straight up cuddles one of these venomous snakes, and the snake doesn't even try to snap at him. This scene got everyone talking. A bunch of folks think it's just snake charmers pulling a fast one, having yanked the snake's fangs out so they can't bite. A lot of people buy this explanation, but then there are others who are like, nope, that's not it. They say in some places, folks and snakes are just tight like that, living together and all. So what's the deal? Have snakes suddenly gone all soft on us, or was this just some staged act? Two-headed snake. Like having one head wasn't scary enough, this fierce snake had to go and grow another one. Spotted on a farm in Spain, this two-headed slitherer was caught munching on 2 albino rats, making it look even more bizarre. While it's all down to a genetic mutation, a lot of folks tie two-headed snakes to ancient myths and see stumbling upon one as a bad sign. And then, the folks in Bali were totally gobsmacked when they found a two-headed snake. Even though it was tiny, it was exactly the kind of thing wildlife buffs dream about. Deformed dog. Just a few inches high and sporting a single eye smack dab on its forehead, this eerie pup came into the world in a tiny Philippine village. Its menacing looks grabbed headlines, and locals even branded it a divine curse. Dubbed the Cyclops dog for its lone eye, this oddball had 2 tongues and no nose, making it tough for it to breathe. Sadly, the little guy didn't make it, thanks to those genetic quirks. After checking out the pup, the vet suggested that its mom might have ingested some toxins, leading to its unusual birth. Alien corpse. While some of us think aliens are way out there, only dropping by Earth now and then, there's stuff that makes that seem iffy. Like this one time, they found what looked like an alien baby's body in a Bolivian town, which kinda screamed aliens are among us. What freaked people out even more was how the body just vanished into thin air. With all the chatter about UFO sightings and little humanoid figures darting around deserted spots, folks have been buzzing about alien encounters. But stumbling upon a dead alien, that really shook everyone up. Then, before you know it, some investigator shows up, grabs the body from the locals, and poof, the mystery deepens with the body gone just like that. Odd creature. Back in 2003, a guy found this super small creature in his backyard, barely 15 centimeters long, with a face like a bat and massive ears. People were quick to call it an alien because, well, it looked nothing like we've seen before. This odd little find was in a town in Arizona. When the experts got a look, they were like, sure, it kinda screams alien who's just popped over to Earth, but they also thought it might just be a human. A human who, because of some genetic twists, didn't quite develop right. Even with all the guesses and the creature being taken away for more poking and prodding, it just vanished from the public eye. No updates, no nothing. It's like the little guy just dropped off the radar. Weird figure. A freaky pig mutation? The decaying remains of some mystery beast. This weird blobby thing that popped up by a farmer's field along the riverbank has got everyone tossing around theories. Some folks are convinced it's a river monster that ended up dead on shore. This critter, with its wicked claws, has really caught people's attention. A bunch of people think it might have been a pig that got dumped on some deserted land. As it's been rotting away, figuring out how it really got there is pretty much a lost cause. What's your take on this creepy creature? Mystery alien being. After a grueling day working his fields in Panama, just as a farmer was about to head home, he stumbled upon a bizarre creature on the side of a cliff. He couldn't make heads or tails of what this animal was, as it looked like nothing familiar, neither animal nor bird. With an odd, hairless pinkish body and lengthy limbs ending in clawed toes, the eerie figure was surprisingly well preserved. Some speculated it could be a bald, furless three-toed sloth, while others called it an enigmatic alien creature, especially since even scientists couldn't pin down what this strange being was, and it remains a mystery to this day. Two-legged goat. If you reckon life is tough, imagine being this man with just 2 legs who amazed a farmer following his birth on a local farm in China. The disabled lamb, born without its back legs, was expected to not survive long after birth. However, it proved everyone wrong by showing incredible resilience. Just a week into life, this determined little lamb was standing on its front legs and even managed to walk on just those 2. Local veterinarians speculate that the lamb's mother might have sustained an abdominal injury, perhaps from a skirmish, leading to the birth of the handicapped lamb. Miraculously, despite its significant challenge, the lamb was able to walk. Two-headed calf. A couple of years ago in Pakistan, a farmer was completely taken aback when his buffalo birthed conjoined twin calves. They couldn't stand up because they shared a single body. Fused together at their rear, they had 1 pair of hind legs, 2 tails, and 2 heads. Astonishingly, they were sustained by just 1 stomach between them, meaning if one calf ate, both would feel fed. This 2-headed calf was considered an omen of bad luck for the village. Experts, however, explain this rare birth as the result of a genetic mutation, a condition that happens when an embryo doesn't fully separate into two individuals, resulting in the calves being joined. Cobra stuck in can. While tending to his crops, a farmer encountered one of nature's most intimidating creatures in a distressing predicament. Trapped in a discarded beer can, a 4-foot Indian cobra struggled fiercely to live. Witnessing the snake's painful ordeal, the farmer wasted no time in seeking assistance, leading to a swift response from a rescue squad determined to liberate the snake from its metal confines. Through careful efforts, they were able to slice the can away and carefully remove the snake, making it ready to be returned to its natural habitat. Mystery animal. This could either be a creature from outer space or some kind of hybrid animal. A few years ago, a peculiar creature was discovered hiding under a porch in Pennsylvania. Looking frightened and forlorn, with sharp ears and a snouted mouth, it shared some characteristics with a coyote. However, other traits suggested it was a dog that had become disfigured from starvation and despair. This mysterious animal was taken to an animal shelter, where various DNA tests were carried out in an attempt to pinpoint its species. Yet it remained nameless, and its true identity continues to be a mystery. Mutant goat. No one can pin down exactly what it was, but it certainly wasn't a goat. That was the farmer in the Philippines' reaction when an odd creature was born from one of his goats. Looking like a bizarre mix of human and pig, with a tiny, bald body and even a navel, this creature left the local community in shock, deemed by many as a cursed being. The situation grew more alarming when its two siblings and the mother goat passed away, fueling fears of a malevolent mutant bringing misfortune. However, scientists explain it could be due to a genetic mutation affecting the fetus, leading to the birth of a severely malformed baby. Mice plague. Picture being surrounded by an endless sea of mice, scampering in every direction, emerging onto the land, sneaking into storages. This nightmarish scenario unfolded in Australia a few years ago when millions of mice overran farms and homes, subjecting farmers to an unprecedented mouse plague. The intense rodent invasion wreaked havoc across towns, leaving a foul smell and causing massive agricultural damage as mice ate through grain harvests and spoiled them with their droppings. Triggered by drought and bushfires, trying to count them was akin to counting the stars in the sky. With stores running out of traps and poisons, people are still struggling to fend off these relentless invasions. Hanging goat. While working in his field in Greece, a farmer was shocked to find a goat dangling several feet off the ground. The goat was caught by its horns on an electrical wire near a hill, prompting a group of local men to come to its aid. They ingeniously used ladders and ropes, mounting a vehicle to nudge the goat up the hill along the wire. After a brief struggle, they managed to save the goat, which miraculously wasn't hurt. How the goat got into this tight spot remains a mystery, but given goat's knack for climbing, it probably lost its footing on a tree and somehow ended up sliding down the line until its horns snagged on the power line. Peking snakes. You've got to watch out for more than just rodents. Hibernating snakes could be a concern too. As a farmer was getting his land ready for planting, he came across a massive snake taking refuge in a burrow underground. Believing the snake was gearing up for hibernation, the farmer began to back away to steer clear of its potentially lethal bite. However, before he could get far, he saw additional snakes emerging from the hole, on edge and vigilant, poking their heads out of the den. It seemed these clusters of snakes had congregated to hibernate but were suddenly roused and came out upon sensing someone nearing them. Fish march. Slithering across the parched earth, these fish amazed onlookers who had never seen such behavior before. However, what was astonishing to them is actually quite normal in the world of fish. Introducing the climbing gourami. This species is well known for its bold temperament and another startling trait, its ability to live for extended periods without water. Remarkably, it can survive for up to 18 hours and, in some instances, even 7 days without water, maintaining its hydration. This is why climbing gouramis are frequently spotted by people near lakesides. Mimicking chick. While tidying up his backyard and spotting it perched on a tree, The man believed he had encountered an unusual caterpillar species, but a revelation came after he shared the video online. Commenters pointed out it wasn't a caterpillar at all, but rather a chick mimicking one. Indeed, nature's marvels never cease. Introducing the Cinereus mourner, a bird that astonishingly resembles a caterpillar, not just in looks but in movement as well. This remarkable mimicry serves as a clever strategy for the fledglings to elude predators during their initial months of existence. Diamond ring. Believing it was gone for good and even substituting it with a similar, less expensive version to conceal the loss, the woman was astonished when her daughter-in-law found the diamond ring she had lost 10 years earlier. Rather than pure joy, the discovery left the woman more astounded, especially since the ring was entwined with a carrot that had grown through its large opening. She remembered losing it while gardening, resigning herself to the belief that it was lost forever, only to be reunited with it in such an unexpected way today. Angel statue. Is it truly just a statue, or could it be an actual angel transformed into stone? This rock formation, resembling an angel, left spectators in awe when it was discovered in Yakutia, a small Russian town. The formation boasted wings on its back, a perfectly shaped shield in front, intricate details of a veil, fingers, and the overall structure so lifelike that both onlookers and researchers struggled to accept it as a man-made creation. Located meters away from a residential area, with no evidence of its origin, the statue's existence continues to be a perplexing mystery. Space junk. Stumbling upon revelations that unlock the secrets of the past is one thing, but what farmers least expect to find in their fields is something from beyond our world, space, to be exact. Yet, a farmer in Australia recently stumbled upon burnt remains of space debris on his property. Feeling both amazed and bewildered, he reached out to an astrophysicist who visited the farm to examine the unexpected find. The expert confirmed it was indeed debris from a SpaceX mission, likely fallen during re-entry. While space debris typically ends up in the ocean, there's a growing number of instances where it's been discovered on land. This trend is raising concerns among scientists, as it poses potential risks to people. Thanks a bunch for checking out the video. Go ahead and hit that like button, share it with your buddies, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Smash that bell icon so you won't miss out on any of our awesome videos coming up. Big thanks again.